Hey, what's up, Internet? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. I keep starting late every night, and I apologize. And I have this weird cord that my wife doesn't like. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So we're going to do some painting tonight. Um, just wanted to thank you for joining me here on a Monday evening. So just to recap from last night, we painted these. These are Amazonian, basically grappler and a brawler for Rumbleslam. Super fun miniatures. I'm going to put these two finished ladies off to the side here. And tonight we're gonna kind of work on all 7 of the other models at once. It may not be the best plan, but it is the plan. Okay, so anyway, that's what we got going on. And we're gonna see what we can do here with 7 miniatures. First off, we have to finish assembling them, and we've got to clean them up and make sure that we are gonna be good to go. So let's see. So these ladies are easy enough. They're basically just one-piece minis, and they are good to go. The only thing we need to do here is just a little bit of cleanup if there is any, you know, the odd, the little fiber here and there that just needs to be cleaned off. And you got to do this kind of gently. You don't want to. The models are very smooth, so you don't want to like cause scratches on the surface or anything like that. You know, full disclosure, probably washing these would be better way to get rid of stuff like that. Hey, what's up, Match Fixer AU? Welcome to the feed. So we are working on the rest of the Rumbleslam stuff tonight. I don't know what we'll be able to finish, but we are going to get to work on them. This is the performer here. Fantastic sculpt. Really like this miniature, and you know, the more I learn about the rules for the game, this is going to be a really interesting one because this character is not a very good wrestler. So she's like a pure support piece, and I love pure support pieces in games like this. I think they're the most interesting characters, you know, because there's so many, like, you know, everybody sort of spazzes out over the really combat powerful, you know, the ones with the models with the highest stats or the best damage output and that kind of stuff, and everybody sort of spurgs out on that kind of stuff. I personally am impressed with people who can play and be really good with support pieces. Pieces that that a lot of other people would overlook because it's like, oh, they don't seem outwardly powerful. But I've always kind of been that way with regards to gaming. Is I really like the support pieces. So right now we're just gonna do a little bit of cleanup on the rest of these. These Diva minis are fantastic sculpts, and they're just so simple and perfect in their simplicity. This is the kind of stuff I really like painting. You know, I do like painting, you know, intricate miniatures. You know, there's a lot of fun stuff to be painted in, say, Guild Ball or Malifaux or Batman miniatures game. Those are fun. Those are fun sculpts to paint. But stuff like this, where it's just, you know, they're just real simple. Just do a good, clean paint job on them, and just, you know, do that. Subtle blending is much better than forcing extremes, like, because you just don't have the kind of angles on these. I love that for some reason. That's like, I love that much more than, you know, there's some guys that are really, really good at picking out details, right? So they might paint Warmahordes, or they might paint GW, where you just got so many different little details to pick out, and there's just so much going on with the miniatures. That's what's impressive, right? The sculpt itself is impressive, and the painter's ability to pick it all out is also extremely impressive, and that's great. It's just not what I personally what I go in for. Like I like being able to get a nice smooth, clean finish with really subtle blending on miniatures. Actually, that's not true. I also really like the being able to do the exaggerated stuff as well. Miss Minnie here, she has a separate ponytail. So this is a more 3D sculpt than the other ones. I may be somewhat inclined to pinning these bits, but probably not. All right, so let's put this mini. Are you going to back Batman from Monolith Games? Great question. Absolutely, is my answer. I'm a big fan of the Batman miniatures game. It is a game that we play frequently here locally, and I paint a lot of the miniatures for commission and also for myself. But the thing is, it's like, well, if you play the Batman miniatures game, do you really need to play the board game? And the answer is no. You don't really need to play the board game, but it provides an excellent sort of corollary experience, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's like you can play, the miniature game all day long, and that's great. But you can also really enjoy playing a semi-cooperative experience by playing the board game, and I'm really down for that as well. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to do this, because I've got to clean. Looks like there's a little bit of filling that has to happen there. I don't know, maybe that just chipped off when I cut. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of plastic putty on it. Just a teeny tiny little, like a smeckle here. I don't think that's a real word, smeckle. But right, you gotta be really delicate with this because you don't want any of it to show, but you're just trying to hide just a little bit of that gap there. But yeah, even if we've been talking about this at length, locally, and even if, let's say, I had no intention of playing the Batman board game, I would still back it just because, like, just even from like an investment point of view, it's a good pickup, right? Board gamers have been dying for the Batman theme, and I know that personally from playing the miniatures game, because we always get we game at a comic book shop, so we always get inquiry from the people on the other side of the shop that are buying comics, like, oh my gosh, there's a Batman miniatures game. How is that? And they're, miniature games from the outside are incredibly intimidating for people. People are terrified of miniatures games because it's just so free form, and there seems to be such a, it's regarded as such an intricate hobby, right? Because you're collecting pieces and you're carefully building them, and then you're painting all of them up, and then beyond that, the rules are incredibly the rules are incredibly intricate. So, there's a sort of a widespread intimidation factor. Trying to get this trying to figure out what's the best pose for this arm. But yeah, it should be a great uh, game. I really like the Conan game. Oh gosh, look at that. That ponytail just snapped on me. That was terrible. I really like the game, the Conan game, and it's based on the Conan game. And even though some people locally do not like the Conan game, but it's like, I don't know, it's like an unreliable source because like these are like the people that have complained about every game, and when you ask them, well, what game do you like? They can't give you an answer. They're just, you know, they're just sort of miserable gamers, and I feel bad for them almost. It's like, do you like anything? And I know that might sound weird coming from me because I criticize stuff all the time, right? It sounds like, unless you're really paying attention, you might think that I don't like anything. And part of that's because, when you hear like, oh, he doesn't really like, I don't really play the GW games. A lot of people just sort of equate GW games with miniature gaming. It's like, oh, well, if you don't play GW, what do you play? Like, what else is there? And we know that there's a lot out there, but not everybody knows that. Oh man, this is a mess. Let's see if I can actually get that to stay. That's totally going to break off again at some point. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. It's just a really weird... Oh, hey, what's up, audio control? Welcome to the feed. But yeah, I don't know. The Batman game should be super fun. Sorry for the sneeze. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna play it as often as we play the miniatures game. I really don't see that happening. So wow, that gap is pretty significant there on the leg. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong. Hopefully the pricing is friendly. I would expect to pay a premium though for stuff like that, for something like that, just because, for one, the licensing, and it is going to be, from what I've seen, it looks like there is a lot of components to that game. These board games keep getting bigger and bigger, and they keep, you look at a Gloomhaven box, and, I rest my case. And I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I think that's kind of the wrong direction. It's super impressive, and people, oh gosh, look at how big the box is, and they talk about that, and that generates buzz around a game. But I don't think games have to be gigantic to be good. You don't have to have a ton of components to a game for it to be good. And furthermore, a game doesn't have to be a long game. Like, people are looking at these game times now. It's like, oh, well, it's 120 to 240 minutes. Like, that's a massive turnoff for me personally. Because, like, I don't, I want to live my life. I don't want to play that kind of game. I love, for me, I love the 30 to 60 minute long game. I would rather do that. I would rather do that and have a, like, like for me, a typical evening of gaming is about 4 to 5 hours worth of gaming. And if I can get 3 games for 3 different systems in a night, that's a good night of gaming for me. A lot of people, they want to play one game and have the one game take up the whole evening. And there are some cases where I might want to do something like that. I might want to go, hey, you know what? Let's really throw down the Shadows of Brimstone and let's play for an entire evening. And sometimes that's good. But if it were up to me, I would play really fast games and just play a bunch of them, right? I'd play a 3-player map of SDE, and try to get that finished in under an hour. And a game of Rumbleslam and try to get that finished in under an hour. And a game of Guild Ball, okay, that's 90 minutes. That's the big game for the evening, right? And then you may play Arena Rex 4-player. That's going to be about an hour. And that's a good night, man. That's like 4 games that you played, 4 game systems that you played. And really fun miniatures, and you got a good mix of like beer and pretzel type dice chucking games. You got good head-to-head games. You've got a co-op game in there. That's a pretty full evening. So that's kind of where I'm at with all this. Like, I would rather. I'm gonna try something. It may not be the best idea. Let's see what we got. I get about 1 game of 40K in 4 hours, but then we do play high points 40K. Yeah, to each their own. I used to play 40K like that when I did play 40K. It was like I'll play for, especially, I played from Rogue Trader, and 2nd edition was actually my favorite edition, and those games were really long. All right. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm worried that we'll see. We'll see. I may have to. I might have to do. It's hard to resist buying the add-ons. You based in? Yes, I am based in the U.S. I'm located in Southern California, which is great because it is a very high population and a high population of gamers. Like, there's a big active. There are big. Well, overall, there are lots of opportunities to game in Southern California. Lots of hobby stores, lots of gaming shops. It's about, you have a hobby shop about every 15 miles or so. I wonder if that's gonna stay. My idea is, what if I just glue these minis directly to the shot glass using these pegs. Then I just break them off the pegs when they're done. That does not look like that's gonna stay. Yeah. That's not gonna stay. That's a bummer. I wonder why. I thought it would, but yeah, it looks like it just sort of dried on there and didn't do anything. Okay. Well, that was worth a shot, but I guess that's not gonna work. So we're going back to sticking them in the. I just don't think that that's a good enough solution. I think they're just gonna bend on these. Let's just try it. We don't really have a choice here. Bit better with 8th, but now it still takes time. You can play small games or large games. There's more chance of different game types now. Yeah, I've watched a bunch of 8th being played, and it looks like you can get a much deeper, tactical and strategic experience out of it now than you could, back when I quit during 5th edition. And 5th edition to me was just like, it was like 3rd again. It was just this big shoving match. And it felt like there were too many lists that played themselves. Do you have a BGG? I do have a Board Game Geek, but I never maintained that account. I don't know what, probably some older games on there like Room 25 or something. Which by the way, I do like Room 25. But you only need the first game for that to be good. I don't know. I mean, we can talk about the games that I play, because I do play a lot of games, or I have played a lot of miniatures games. Um, uh, so one of my friends tonight posted. Oh, sorry about knocking the camera there. One of my friends tonight posted this article that was like 10 of the best miniatures games. And I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, everybody comes up with their own 10 best miniatures games. And I used to do that, actually, on this channel. When I was pretty much all YouTube, I would do this like end of year feed where I would go over my top 10 miniature games for the year. And it was a bunch of stuff that I don't think anybody playing miniatures games is ever gonna have the identical miniatures gaming experiences, because there are so many out there that unless you've played dozens and dozens and dozens of miniature games, which puts you in an incredibly small minority of people, then you might have the same list as another person, or if that other person is in your gaming group, then yeah, you might have the same list as another person. But otherwise, like, for somebody to just come out and say, hey, here's top 10 miniature games, doesn't really mean much, and it shouldn't mean much. What means much is if you see the same game being talked about in detail by a number of people that you trust. Let's see. 5th was broken, 7th was good. 7th streamlined the games and made it easier to play. Yeah, back when I was a 40K player, I had a dozen armies, and I had a huge Eldar collection. 3 different craft worlds, and the largest was my Iandan Ghost World craft world. That was about 15,000 points. And then I also had a large, I think it was like a 6,000 point orc army. And then the Space Marine army I had was it was a Mentor Legion Space Marine, not mentors, not the mentors, Mentor Legion. You have to go back to some of the old Rogue Trader stuff to find out about the Mentor Legion. They had changed their fluff, and even their chapter badge was changed when they went to the Mentors, and that actually really pissed me off. That was another thing that really kind of pissed me off was the kind of the direction they took the fluff from way back when. I personally liked it when that universe didn't take itself quite so seriously, and that's how you get stuff like Guild Ball, right? That's what Blood Bowl. That's how you get Blood Bowl, is GW guys not taking themselves so seriously, and that's where Nuffle came from. But yeah, the Mentor Legion was great because it used to be an owl, and the Mentor Legion used to be essentially a bunch of Imperial test pilots. They were authorized to use, whatever weaponry was available to the Imperium, whether sanctioned or not. And the Warhammer Compendium book had, was it Compendium or compilation? I forget. Probably compilation book had, the inside cover had Imperial Commander Nisk Ranthal getting dressed, and just the explanation of what the Mentor Legion was, and that was so damn cool. And then by the time like 3rd or 4th rolls around, like they go completely dead silent on this chapter. Like no one gives a shit about this chapter. And then finally, like I think it was fourth or fifth edition rolls around, and they have a picture of the mentors, and suddenly it's just this. It's the same white and green armor that was cool, and then it's just this like really generic eagle. And man, that pissed me off. I was like, what? We're owls. What? Why couldn't we keep the cool owls? Why couldn't we be the test pilots? What's going on? Why did they have to? Why did they have to turn everything into stupid generic? Like they did that with the orcs too. You know, the orcs were the opposite of what they are now. They were highly individualistic. Like if you bought a box of orc miniatures, you had all kinds of characters in there. It was like the Gremlins, you know, if you remember that movie franchise. Every orc model had a different outfit. They were hearkening back to things like all kinds of stuff, and yeah, it was offensive stuff too. Like they would have like stormtrooper orcs, like Nazi orcs. They would have like these savage tribal orcs that were like Native American. They would have like Native American headdresses. They used to ride cyborgs. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe that might offend a sensibility or two, but like I really liked that. That orcs were so highly, you know, individual. Yeah, they were just so individual. And to go from that to, you know, what they did with the orcs, which is like, oh well, they're all spores and they all look exactly the same and they're all these like super buff war things. It's like, oh man, come on. I mean, they still keep some of the ridiculousness, like the red ones go faster, and I think you still had squig fuel injector and that kind of stuff, but definitely not the same. This is not going to work. I'm going to have a better solution for this guy. Maybe something like this. Yeah, like that. This is why green stuff exists. Yes, but also, but like even the fluff is like just completely neutered. You know. Anyways, I'm sorry. I don't want to disparage, you know, 40K or GD. I don't want to do that. It's just these are my opinions on things. I try not to sound so negative. It's just that, you know, that's why I don't. There are a number of reasons why I stopped with GW. But hey, I still love Blood Bowl. Still love Blood Bowl. Wish Gorka Morka would come back. Loved Gorka Morka. Think Necromunda was fun. I loved Necromunda back in the day. Not as much as Gorka Morka though, man. Gorka Morka was awesome. Loved Gorka Morka. But yeah. Anyway, let's get these guys up and ready. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. We're about to prime a whole bunch of these Rumbleslam minis. And I'm going to clean up an airbrush here real quick. Yeah, Necromunda's back. It looks okay. It looks okay. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. I say what I think, and it's not always what people like. I'm sorry. So, should be painting more Plagues Marine. Nice. Yeah. I just feel like GW is kind of lost. They've kind of lost their fangs. Is what I'm saying. They were so gritty, and when they first came out, they were so gritty and edgy, and I hate to use that word as a compliment these days, but I don't know. They were just bold, and now it's so everything feels so safe to me. GW feels so safe. They can't do that kind of stuff anymore, and I understand it's a different time and whatever. I don't know. Call me an old man. It just seems so safe. I loved that Necromunda used to have the um, the religious zealot gang that look like hooded KKK members. And, you know, I know you'd never be able to get away with that these days, but I love that. After watching you paint Wong Ping, I like the samurai stuff. Yeah. Well, I'll get back to Rising Sun soon. I wanted to make this little detour here, though, and get to playing some Rumbleslam, because here's a game that, again, this game really feels like in the spirit of old GW, right? Doesn't take itself too seriously. Fun dice chucking game. Has the audience participation. It's, you know, and here's okay. Here's one of my major gripes with GW. And again, I apologize if you think, if I really don't, my intent is not to just to bash GW. My intent, all I'm trying to do is I'm just explaining, you know, kind of why I ended the ride with them 10 years ago. And I don't want to talk about pricing or weird decisions that they made and that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about, you know, fluff, aesthetics, things like that. Find a way to bring back Graviton Gun versus Wraith Cannons versus Orky Bouncy Cannonball, and you might learn back a little. Well, here's my I'm just gonna. Here's my major issue with GW, and that is I'm tired of the aesthetic. I'm tired of the aesthetic. GW has kind of done what Star Wars has done, and it's sort of it becomes so iconic that it's creatively bankrupt. You know what I mean? A Space Marine is going to be a Space Marine is going to be a Space Marine. Orcs are going to be Orc and Warlike, and other races are going to be what they are. Everybody's going to know what they are, and you can, like, it's been 10 years since I played a game. I could tell you the stats on a bolter and on a heavy bolter and on a, you know, most of the other standard weapons. So there's that, and then there's this. Okay, there's this specifically. How come my window is so small? Is that just not? Oh, whatever. Right? GW doesn't do this. They don't sculpt. They don't sculpt women. They don't. Not really. You know, their sculpts are so they're so asexual. I'm sorry, and I hate to put it that way, but that, like, I want to paint. I'm tired of painting buff guys on roids, like tiny pinheaded guys, and I know we're supposed to be all impressed by that, but I'm tired of it. Like, you know, there's only so much, like, you know, buff oily man rubbing on each other and power fisting each other I can take. Like, just let me let me paint something different like that. That's all. Not everything is grimdark, okay? Not everything has to be like buff guy anger dude. Like that. This isn't. I don't know. And people go, well, I'm an adult man, and I don't need to paint these booby girls. Like, well, you're also not a 13-year-old. You can paint all kinds of things. You know, that's all. Yeah, the Sisters of Battle. I've seen those sculpts though. I've seen the Daughters of Cain. I'm sorry, they all look like female tennis players to me. I'm just like, please, can we just? I know there's supposed to be billions and billions of humans. There's a reason why there are billions and billions. Like, there's still reasons for. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. We're gonna do some painting. I'm just giving you my reasons. Aesthetically, it just bores me to tears. I'm sorry. It does. It doesn't offer me anything new. I look at GW, the new, look at the new releases. Don't they look cool? I'm like, no, man, they look the same. They look the same to me. They get a little bit bigger. You put a little more spikes on this one. Shoulder pads got a little bigger. Here's some more skulls on this one. It's basically the same. They have not left that creative space. And they can't. They can't, because that's what people have come to expect from them. Like I said, it's like Star Wars. You like Star Wars because lightsabers, stormtroopers, and X-Wings and TIE fighters, right? They can't, Star Wars creatively can't leave that stuff. You can't have You know, you can call it a Star Wars movie all you want, but fans are going to be upset that they didn't see a lightsaber fight and that they didn't see the Force and that the stormtroopers weren't there. It is what it is, and it's a blessing and a curse. It's what brought them. You know, the Space Marine design is what brought GW to prominence in the first place, and they can't really leave it. But GW would never. Today's GW would never make a game like Rumbleslam. You know, and if they did, the women would basically be male bodies with a woman's head, and maybe, you know, that's how it. I mean, that's how the kits used to be. It was like, oh, female, just change the head, and it would be some like generic like page boy haircut thing, and you'd be like, dude, that's, I don't know, just not interesting for me to paint that. And I like, for example, Shadespire looks like a fairly fun game. It looks like GW has kind of looked at 3 skirmish games and go, huh, that's what you could do. And they made their like version of a skirmish game, and it seems fun. It seems playable. Whatever. It doesn't seem particularly novel to me, but it seems like fun. Like, you could play that, and it's nice and it's portable. It gives you what you want from the GW experience. If you like painting, you know, Space Marine guys, you can paint 3 Space Marine guys and be done. You don't have to paint 50 of them for an army. I like that. But for me personally, it's still the same thing. It's still like, it still bores me to tears. Like, oh, look, Troll Slayers. That's the Dwarf army. Troll Slayers, okay, yeah. And Primaris, whatever. Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. It's still the same. Still looks like the same thing to me. It just does not move the dial at all. And again, I hate to sound so disparaging, but I look at those and like, okay, they look good. If I hadn't, you know, been into GW since 1990, then maybe they would be interesting enough for me to want to paint. But as it stands, they're not. It's the same stuff as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't do anything for me. So, I don't know. And that probably sounds weird. I bet it does to some people. I bet it sounds weird because, like, I love that universe. I love everything about it. I love the universe when it was a different universe. That's another thing, like, that I think that probably gets missed. I loved it when it was a different universe, when it wasn't 100%, you know, war or nothing. Oh man, this is just gonna be annoying. Oh, I think I snapped the. It's okay. Snapped the tab a little bit, but it's okay. We will make it work. But I will say this, you know, having been on the sidelines for so long and seeing what they're doing now with their games, I'm impressed. I will say that. I think they're making good decisions with the specialist games and trying to support the smaller game efforts. I think they're doing good things. I don't see myself ever going back to their universe. It's just, again, it's not a universe I'm interested in. But I will say that, yeah, I feel like they are doing good things. This music is, let's skip it. Let's skip it. Let's do, that song sucks. There's always the Horus Heresy section. Yeah. Yeah, trust me, if I could like a GW game, it would be good to get back into a game, into a system that I don't have to promote myself. That would be cool, right? Like Shadespire has an instant community. People like, oh, I like dwarves, I like orcs, I like chaos. I'll play that. I mean, that's cool. That's a big bonus for miniature games. I almost feel like it's there's times when I feel like it's a crutch, though. But yeah. Uh-oh. We're getting a little bit of laggy lag here. Well, this lady here needs a lot of reinforcement. She's going to have like a half-pound of putty under her. She's just going to move around a lot. What's going on with this lag? Looks good on my side. Wow. Did we just lock up entirely? What is going on? Are we okay? To like support his head here while I paint him. Wow, we just, at least on my side, we got really choppy. I hope we're okay. Audio's okay, video's choppy for a minute or so? Okay. Thanks, Luchesi. And just like lost all integrity once I started spraying it and holding it down. Seems to have cleared up. That's good. Maybe just a lag pocket. Somebody streaming browsers again. But yeah, I'm excited for this game. I'm really excited for this game. I spent a lot of time today watching battle reports, trying to figure out, you know, what I needed to get, how I would transport it, what's going to be my general strategy for painting this stuff. These pixies should be an interesting paint job. They kind of just painted them green in the studio art. We may do something a little bit different with these. All right, there we go. Okay, so hopefully we're still doing okay on the video. So now let's go ahead and hit this with a zenith color. So I want to hit them with a blue color, a really, really light blue, like almost a white color, just to get there we go. All right, so I don't need to do anything terribly cute to these. I just want to have most of the kind of light and the dark ready. It's going to affect the larger minis a lot more. All right, here we go. I love these Diva miniatures. They're so good. That one looks a little weird. Ooh, it did weird stuff. I'll flub that with the paint though. We'll make that look like it works. I really don't feel like investing too much time tooling that, making that perfect. It's like, I just love these like simple minis, like this chick here, simple one-piece sculpt, and she's just perfect. I love how she's sculpted. I love the attitude. Like the expression on her face, and I love that. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't need 900 things happening on the miniature. Just give me a decent pose, a cool facial expression, areas where I can blend, areas where I can highlight, areas where the light can play off the miniature, and I'm happy. I don't need a crazy amount of bordering. I don't need, like, you know, every single rivet showing. Like, even this plain miniature looks like she's just standing perfectly still, which she is. She's got plenty of character on her face. And getting the blending right on her skin is going to be awesome. Amazon team should be interesting. They have some great sculpts as well. Hey, good morning, Dicey Guy. Welcome to the feed. So I'm going to do quick color blocking on these because based on what I saw last night, it looks like this type of line is better, with the exception of this guy right here. This line is better for brush painting. This guy here is going to be the obvious exception because he's such a big angular model. He's probably great for airbrushing. But I'm not really planning on working on this guy much tonight. I'm going to kind of focus down on the Divas. All right. And so I'm not going to follow the studio art of white clothing on the Divas. I'm probably going to do like purple or like a lavender. I think it'll be a nice contrast to the skin. And I should be able to get that reasonably, get that detail down. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight we're working on Rumbleslam by Tabletop Combat. Man, this game, I think, really has potential if it gets, if it gets enough attention on this side of the pond. It's a year in, and it looks great, and it's super fun. It's just a great miniature gaming experience. All right. So I'm going to get the base coat. Oops, that's the wrong airbrush. I'm going to use my old point 2 instead of the harder Steenbeck for this next step, just because I should be able to get this without having to do a crazy amount of thinning here. What I'm planning on doing is I'm going to do kind of a major color block on skin. And I don't have to do much. I just have to get that base color down. All right. And I'm going to start with a ruddy color. Whoa, it's the wrong. Give me a quick disconnect. Oh, not that. Okay. So I'm going to use a color like rust. Seems a little weird, but if you're going for that like sanguine skin color, it's a good color to undercoat with. Like you might use a hull red or something like this. Rust isn't too far off from that. You could do like a dwarf flesh is another color you could do. Just wondering if I have a more recent batch of rust. That one does not look to be tip-top. And I would rather not screw up this part with choppy paint. I've sworn I had another rust that's a little better shape than that one. That's wrong. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. It's weird that I don't. Whatever. That's really weird that I don't. I'm calling bullshit on my own terrible filing system. It's here, it's just not showing itself to me. Wow. Alright. Wrestling game should be a hit, right? For sure it should be. Alright. Oh, I do have a more recent one, and the reason why I can't find it is because it's on my damn desk already. Actually, it's not that much more recent. Alright. And I'm gonna mix this with just a little smidge, of glaze medium, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit, and just a smidge again of airbrush thinner. Oh look, the tree gave up already. He just collapsed in a drunken heap. You just mix silver with dark reds to make rust. Oh, yeah, I'm not actually trying to make rust though. I just want this color because it's going to be a skin undertone. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. On this lady here, oops, that's a sleeve, isn't it? She's actually quite covered up, isn't she? I can't tell. Is that a sleeve? No. That's a sleeve right there. I was doing it right. So you can slowly kind of build it up. Now I wouldn't undercoat the pixies this skin color, because the pixies are fairies. They're going to be much lighter. I'm trying to purposely get it in there. Oh wow. Video is chop again. I apologize, guys. Looks like we're okay. I don't know, on my other Screen, it looks fine. There you go. You can see, yeah, it really is a nice skin undertone. A bit of a midriff there. Sound is good, but freeze for like 15 seconds, but better now. I wonder what's going on. I have been having some issues with my quality of my streaming lately. And I'm not just talking about my horrible commentary and bad painting skills. Yeah, man, I hate that when you discover like a little fleck or something. Your airbrush will call attention to it by blowing on it. And you're like, crud, how do I get that off? Ordered a Sotar from Badger. Nice. Yeah, I'm really loving my my Harder Steenbeck. Really loving that airbrush. Oh, come on. Still trying to perfect my my thinning with it. It's not exactly the best right now. Looks like I got most. I got it. I got most of that. Yeah, good luck with that. Somebody was asking me to do a review on the Harder Steenbeck, and I need to do that actually. I don't think I could contribute much more than everybody else that has reviewed that airbrush, but I could just give my own perspective on it. A lot of it is going to echo what other people are saying though, but I think I have my own. I probably have one or two things that might be a little bit different. It's kind of just based on my own personal preference and my own system of painting. One last girl to undercoat here for the skin. She's I'm afraid the airbrush is going to blow that ponytail right off. I think that crust up in the front there is going to make it look like torn up jeans. Sort of. Alright. So now, we're going to go ahead and do the next part of the skin. So we're going to highlight all that skin now. So we're going to go in and make another glaze using a lighter skin tone, but it's still not going to be like a true skin tone. Well, it might be. Trying to find the right tone here. It's not bad. I think Sunny Skin Tone is the right tone. It's already pretty thin too. So we're going to add a bit of glaze medium to it. Man, the feed looks terrible on my view screen. I hope it's better than that on your guys' screen. I wonder if I just turn it off, if I turn off the main view screen and just try to, well, I can't even read comments on there. All right, so now we're going in with Sunny Skin Tone. Whoa. It's a little too yellow, I think. Could be a little too... Yeah, it's a little too yellow. And it's really pasty looking. Okay. I'm gonna call an audible here. That doesn't look good. It's too yellow. So I'm gonna pick something a little more gray in it. Hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? Welcome to the feed. Ooh. Yeah, that was a bad decision top to bottom. Super chunky. All right. So we're gonna try a different skin tone. Hopefully one a lot thinner than that. I think I can actually use, let's see. Could use like a like light brown. Light brown would be good. Might be too light. Might be too light. We'll try it. Got that Donald T vibe, huh? Yeah, it's a little too orange. All right, let's try. Oh, you know what? No, let's try this. Mud brown would probably be better. Mud brown will actually get us a lot closer there. And I know it looks even more orange, but my experience spraying this is, it's actually quite good. It just seems darker in the airbrush than it is going to be coming out. Yeah, that's already better. Okay, so she's gonna have a weird face. That's a walk away here. I need more. Okay, so here we go. The character is kind of based on Awesome Kong. No, I don't like this either. You know what? No, that's not good either. No. Okay. New plan. Keep trying different things. I think light brown is going to do it here. We're just going to do some light brown, and then we'll actually just go in and start brush painting the rest of it. Because we are going to brush paint this stuff in anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Let's just try it. It actually doesn't even... Actually, don't even care at this point. It should just block the... Yeah, it should just block the clothing at this point. Because I can do like that. It looks okay. But I don't really trust it. She's an African American pro wrestler that used to work. What are we in college now? For real, right? I think that's gonna work a lot better. I think that did actually work a lot better. Yeah, looks pretty good. We'll do it on another mini so you can see what we're... It's nice on the legs because, you know, the legs are essentially just cylinders that you're trying to highlight. So the smoother you can do the transition on the legs, the better it looks. I think they look pretty good. Looks better by the second. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Welcome to the feed. I was sad as shit. Saw this kid grew up for 8 years and he died. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't watch Walking Dead, but somebody else on my timeline spoiled it for me. All right. I thought you were talking about like a real life friend, Nelson. Oh man. Just the tiniest little nick there on the side of her. My bad, it's all... Oh no. Ooh, just had to get that little dimple off of her thigh here. Alright, last one. So Octave, I'm hard time balancing my paints and my airbrush. Yeah, it takes some practice, man. Even with my new airbrush, I'm having that issue because trying to figure out what you can and can't do in a 0.15, and a lot of it's kind of trial and error. I mean, you should have a reasonably good understanding of what you can do, but you're always kind of pushing it because you're, you know, trying to make the job a little easier for yourself, that kind of thing. All right, pretty good, pretty good. Let's get some hair done, and then we'll get to work on the outfits. So I think the performer is going to be blonde. The performer and the brawler will be blonde, and we'll have a redhead in there. The big girl will be dark hair. All right, so let's get this. Let's get these blocked up. Oh shoot! Well, I missed. Yeah, I missed. Whoa. All right, and she'll also be blonde. Okay. All right. We're gonna have maybe a redhead or two in here. I realize 0.5 needle sucks. No, man, 0.5 needle's great for priming and base coating. But okay. Yeah, all right. I used to use a 0.5 for priming. Then I realized doesn't save you that much time over a 0.3. And so I used a 0.3 for a while. Then I got good with a 0.3, and then I realized it doesn't save you that much time over a 0.2. so I'm using a 0.2 now. All right. So our high flyer here, she's going to be a ginger. He's really going to be the Carrot Top style ginger too. Whoa. All right. Anybody else should be a redhead? Nah. Just her. All right. There is no 0.2 for Iwatas? Really? Really? Seems weird. 0.2 is a fairly common airbrush needle size. Did not realize that. All right. Let's do. It's too dark of a brown. Well, it might work. Ooh, that's dark brown. It's too dark of a brown. What's this? It's a little bit better. We'll use this on we'll give the grappler here brown hair. Should the big girl also have brown hair? I think she would look kind of cool with brown hair. Let's give her brown hair too. Yeah, let's give her brown hair. I think she'd look good with brown hair. So their colors are going to be mostly pink and white. So that's what we're gonna do. Pink, more of like almost like a lavender instead of a pink. Oh man, see it? Looks like I missed a couple of important skin spots. Let me just get a color down on those skin spots. As long as it's a color, should be fine. See, it's fine. Whoa. There we go. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's get some purple down. Or actually more like a, we're gonna make like a lavender color. Okay, so I'm gonna need violet ink to do this. Will the violet ink please hide in my drawer right now so that I cannot find you? Thank you. No, really. You're doing a great job hiding. I'll need that. Don't need that. Found the blue ink. How's my video doing? Are we still doing okay there? Man, the tech issues have been bothering me to such a point that I'm this close to just buying a second computer, just a second brand new computer, just to take care of that. And then I don't know what I'll do with this one. Maybe I'll give it to my wife or something. Although she almost never uses a computer at home. Alright, so here we go. So we're going to use a So the idea here is build up some of this violet I think the high flyer should have jean shorts. I think that would look cooler. I guess I could do it purple also. But I think she should have jean shorts. Alright. It's doing fine. Oh, thanks. So she'll have like a white t-shirt. So I'll just do the suspenders, the purple color. Right, and that shirt will be white. These gloves will be purple. Okay. And then her shorts will be purple. What's going on? Must have got a clog. There we go. Sitting watching with two of my kids. Oh, hey. Hey, kiddos. I will try to keep it family friendly then. You know, this is usually a little bit late at night for me, so opinions kind of go flying sometimes. Oh, what am I saying? You've watched this before. You've been warned, sir. Anyway. Just kind of slowly building. Whoa, that wasn't so slow. I've got to fix that. It's okay. Sudden burst there from the airbrush. So we got the performer here. Whoa. Gotta fix that as well. But it's okay. I mean, you're gonna fix all the color block stuff anyways. Whoa. Yeah, it's trying to get away from us. Just not Norwegian and would be good. Sounds good to me. I will avoid speaking fluent Norwegian. I think this is a challenge I am up to. Whoa. Oh man. Well, whatever. Just realized there's a whole bottom portion of the legs here I did not paint. We'll get to that in a minute though. But you can see there. Alright, so finally. How do you do these? Oh, okay. You can see them, they're coming along, right? They're looking pretty good. Oh, I forgot. I gotta do the stockings on this too. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Just a few more colors here. All right. So I'm just gonna tag the other skin parts on the lower legs that I missed on all these other guys. All right. So like right here. All right. And then here. Okay. Now let's just do a couple more colors. We're gonna do the jean shorts on the high flyer. And we're just gonna use a blue ink for that. It's real simple. Now it looks like torn up jean shorts, right? That actually looks correct now. All right. And now let's do, we're going to do black shoes on them. This chick kind of looks like Tomb Raider now. Like Ginger Tomb Raider. All right. So hope you guys are having a good evening. Sorry I went so quiet there. Just kind of zoned out for a minute. Just doing my thing. You can see these are coming along pretty well though. I don't think I'm going to finish any tonight, but you can see that, I mean, you can kind of see where I'm going with them. They look pretty good. Alright. So there's a couple of them that are kind of wearing like undershirts, and those are going to be white. But we obviously I don't spray white. We spray like a really light blue or a light green, or some sort of gray green. And then you get back to your pone. Yeah, this is good, light gray. Alright, so now kind of her undershirt there. And this one here, she has a white undershirt as well. Anybody else have a white? I don't think so. But I'm going to use this to kind of correct this edge here that looks terrible. And I'm going to respray that in a second. Oh, she just fell right off. Whoa. I messed that up a bit. So we're gonna, let's just correct it. Let's correct it real quick. All right, so now, let it rip. Okay. Get that shade back in. All right. Okay. Anybody else in serious need of a cut? Looks good. That looks good. All right. Yeah, this should be fixed. Okay. And last thing to do here before we do the eyes, because I want to get through the faces and stuff tonight at least. And I don't mind if we spend, you know, a better part of tomorrow night cleaning all this up. All right. We're going to clean all that out. All right. Okay. So just a couple little highlights here and there. Kind of get us back to square one with all right. Getting a little bit of clogging. All right, while you work fast, just had breakfast and it's almost all base coating. This is actually pretty slow for me. But yeah, I try to go quick. Try to. Okay. I think we got the point. There. All right. So let's clean this out. We're gonna start working uh, on the eyes and the faces. All right. How's your airbrush setup? Any spray box ventilation thing? No, my ventilation actually is just the window here. So not the safest setup, I will fully admit. But we moved through it pretty quick. Oh, man. Yeah, it's just nothing. These guys, they're just gonna wiggle. I guess I just have to, just gonna have to get used to it. So the idea now, let's get all the faces done. And the rest of it, it shouldn't be too bad once we get the faces done. So I need black gray. I guess dark gray would work. Let's use dark gray. Oh, I have black gray here. And we'll use white. Okay. All right. Let's break out our wet palette. Don't need to see my tweezers. And let's get ourselves an appropriate sized brush to do the job. This isn't the brush I was using. This is the brush that that kid ruined. It should work. So with the skin going down like that, it looks cool, like it has the right visual effects, but you can see it's really, really flat. It doesn't have any life yet, basically. Let's see if I like this brush or not. Seems okay. I have neither, but having window up at -5 is not an option. Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I had to try to paint in that. You know, a lot of you guys live in much colder regions than I do. So I'm not really sure what I would do to, you know, to make sure I could paint in those types of environments. I love how, like, this chick is just totally no nonsense. Like, I am here to crush you. You'd still ask her out on a date. You'd be like, hey, Wayne, what you doing afterwards? And she'd kick the shit out of you. That's usually what would happen. I like how the brawler here is a little bit more playful with her whole expression and her stance and all that. All right. So now we'll do the white. It's so hard to paint these without pinning them to a cork or something. I think pinning them to a cork would be ideal, but I don't really have that set up. I have this fun tack that it just refuses to. Whoa. Whoa. I messed that up. Do not like droopy eye. Now this eye here that's like buried behind the ponytail, this eye here is between a ponytail and underneath like a giant crown of hair. Yeah, that's not a fun angle to get, but I got it. On the plus side, when summer comes and girls take out their winter rugs, oh man, life is worth living. I will nod my head in agreement. Now, is this lady here, is she supposed to be a female ogre? I hope so, because, I mean, how else do you explain her size? She's ridiculous. I think in this game you're supposed to name your wrestlers. I think so. Not really. She's just a human. Oh, interesting. Just a big lot of Wheaties power in that woman. I'll name him after that intro. Smile, sweet, seduction. Just name them after that. Ooh, do not like this brush for dotting eyes. This game uses dice. And it uses uh, you have like copper dice, silver dice, and gold dice. And the copper dice have the least amount of successes on them, and you work your way up. It's a pretty straightforward system, but then you have a lot of fun mechanics in there built in, like, whether or not the crowd cheers you on or if they boo you can result, like if they boo you for doing too many of the same moves, you can end up losing AP and having a more difficult turn. She's called Ogress. Maybe. Smile, sweet, seductive. The like high flying girl here. She's a little too intense, I think. Smile, sweet, seductive. Sorry, man. Almost like based on the personality in their face and their pose. It's like which which one is your waifu based on that? Like how would that shake down? I think a lot of people, this one here, the super plain one, I think most people would be kind of down for that. Wait, where's my? Let me see if I can. She went to smash it and run the other way. All right. Yeah, the the high flyer is definitely the Sundari, but I think this plain looking one here, she's probably the one that gets asked out the most. She's probably the one that the guys think they have the best shot with. But I could be wrong. I don't know. You may get the team with the Snake Lady, the Dark Elves. That's a cool looking team, man. All right. All right. So now let's get a little bit of skin rolling with these. And we'll cut around the face there. Make everything nice and clear again. Oops. I think I used the wrong medium. It don't matter. Does it matter? Nah, don't matter. As long as it covers, you're good. Probably a good idea to do this anyway. I don't even really need to do that on her. She's good to go for the most part. It's funny, like the expressions on the faces and everything, they make them so familiar. At least to me, it seems like they're so familiar. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this to kind of cut the areas that need more of an opaque coating to kind of strengthen the color and the hide. And then I'm going to come back and thin these even more to just kind of blend so that, they blend in with the transition that we created with the airbrush. Essentially just turn it into more of a true glaze. But I need to define all these areas here that, that need to be covered up. So like the bottom here where her legs meet the boots. A giant hole there in her armpit. Okay. I better cut the Tsundere. Tsundere. She's so intense. Who here wants their woman like intense like this lady? Some of us like that. Some of us, I mean, I don't know that I want an intense woman like that. Outgoing would be cool. Intense? Me, probably not. It's a lot of work, man. You gotta keep up. Great looking mini, though. I will say that. Yeah, a little bit of water. Unless you get the monsters of wrestling. Looks like I'm not going to be able to keep a lot of the airbrush work that I did on this model specifically. Just because the angles kind of threw paint everywhere. I also have this weird, really weird kind of gash right there. I don't know if there's something I can do to get rid of that. What is that? I didn't see that before. Ooh, yeah, that's not paint. That's like a significant piece of flash. All right. Anyway. All right. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting and what you should be painting. Right now I'm painting the Deadly Divas from a little game called Rumbleslam that hopefully a bunch of us in my local area will be playing soon. Because I'm hype. I got that new game hype, man. I'm all about it right now. Doing her a Brazilian. These chicks are just ripped, man. They got these great, just crazy good, crazy six-pack abs and super fit looking. She kind of looks good all like tan like that. And then this blonde here, she's gonna have to have lighter. She's gonna end up with lighter skin. I love her expression. She's playful, this one. Just a very very flirty looking one. So even though you see we airbrushed a bunch of purple on them, purple isn't gonna be the actual color of their outfits. It's gonna be more of a lavender. That purple I sprayed on there just to kind of act more as the undercoat. Not bad, right? Or Netflix and chill. Yeah, that's just a great, man, these minis are cool. I want to just use them as like regular pieces in other games. Like, oh, we're gonna play Zombicide. I'm like, I'll play Wanda, and I'm gonna play her as my with how crappy the performer stats are, you can tell that she's not nearly as athletic as the other girls are. Like, she's got great curves and all that, you know. She's got that's what she does. She definitely has the alluring part down. I just love how that's reflected in the sculpt. Man, these are amazingly good sculpts. Like, these are fun. These are like Takawashi level fun painting. So she'll also, this model will also have very fair skin. So the two blondes will have more fair skin than the other ones. This one has like elf ears. So I'm wondering, maybe is this one elf? Is she an elf? She is the rookie to stir the crowd. I think this one's an elf, really. Like, she definitely has elvish ears. Octave likes painting the butt. I do like painting the butt. But yeah, these are, like I said, like I painted those Amazons last night, and those were fun paints. It doesn't even really bother me that I've had to go back and basically undo all the work I did with the airbrush just to make these look correct. They just take paint well. Like, who cares? They look great. She may be half elf. Yeah, okay, she might be. I just love how she's basically just standing perfectly still. And I'm like, man, what a great sculpt. Because it is. It's just a great sculpt. Okay. And then the big girl. Rah! I imagine if she is an ogress, that this is an exceptionally attractive ogress. Do you think that? I think that. I mean, I don't. I think for a human, she would not be considered attractive by most. But as an ogress, probably. She's probably considered like super hot. Get that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, they just come straight off. They're not even. Hold on. Yeah, she's probably like supermodel ogress. Oops. Like if you went to watch the, you know, you went to watch the Deadly Divas at a match, all the humans would be cheering on the ladies, right? And then she would come out, this one would come out, and they'd be like, who's gonna, who's gonna howl at her? Who's gonna catcall at this one? And then you see a bunch of ogres like, yeah, woo woo woo. I like a big butt and I cannot lie. It's like I tell my wife's single friends, I'm like, ladies, no matter what you think, no matter what you do, there is a guy out there that finds you absolutely irresistible, and they get mad, because they want to meet a guy, and they're like, bullshit, and I'm like, no, 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 there is a guy out there that I guarantee you, there's a guy out there that just finds you absolutely irresistible. The problem is you may not find him irresistible. You may find him very resistible. But that guy is out there, is what I'm saying. Alright. Doing pretty well. Oh, it's midnight. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call this pretty soon. Did not get as far as I wanted. Too many distractions lately. I have to start the feed almost an hour late every night now. I don't know what's going on there. I feel like maybe there's some sabotage happening. Let's do a little bit of the lipstick. So it's just a bit of carmine red, and I mixed that heavy skin tone into it. Because you just don't, obviously you don't want it to pop. You don't want it to scream at you. This one here does remind me of someone I dated once. In terms of both her pose and her facial features. All right. I'm wondering if I should do a little bit of eyeshadow on these, or if will that look too weird? You can try it. You can try it. I don't see any real harm in it. Let's see if we did that and we just mix a little bit of purple with the skin color, the skin tone, and see if it actually, if it looks good or if it looks like ridiculous slutty. Might work on the performer at the very least. All right, here we go. This might be a little much. It's pretty powerful. Let's see. Like I said, you start with her, and if it looks way too much like too much for her, then forget doing any of the other ones. I think it looks awesome, actually. I think it looks great. All right. She's also a little more playful. Maybe she's more prone to wearing this. Yeah. It's so subtle and it looks great though. She still needs a little more red on her lips. There you go. This is interesting. Ogress with a little bit of makeup on her. All right. Didn't realize she even has a choker. Chick is hardcore, man. All right, let's try one more color here before we call it on that lady specifically. Probably have it out. The color I want. No, I don't have it out. All right. What's a choker? The choker is basically the little thing that's wrapped around her neck. You know, that they're really kind of, I don't know. I I I think they're pretty sexy. You know, you'll see a woman with a choker, like a choker necklace. You'll see that kind of stuff. So I mixed. So I took this color here, Caucasian flesh, and I mixed a little bit of that lavender in it with the base tone. And we can use this as a highlight color. And when you're painting female flesh, like a highlight is usually a lot, like it's a lot of real estate. It's not like when you paint, you know, the buff guys that we all paint for years and years. Um, you know, a lot of times the musculature is so well defined that you kind of know where to follow, right? It's not the same with these with female miniatures. It's a lot. So you have to be more subtle. You can't just expect to pick off, you know, the peak of a muscle and make it look good. Because the minute you start highlighting, it ends up being a lot. You can see how I kind of want to make her more pale than the other ones. She should have more delicate skin, you know? She should. She's got the softer features, you know? She doesn't. She looking at her stats, she clearly doesn't work out much. Right? She's not hitting the weights, is what I'm saying. So her body has kind of softer parts, like her belly here is going to be a lot softer than everybody else's on the team. Because they're all working that out and she's not. It's like a scarf but sexy. It's kind of like a scarf, but it doesn't it goes completely around the neck, and then there's no end piece sticking out. It just completely wraps around the neck and then stops. Choker is usually a term that's used for a necklace. So if you think about a necklace that a, a a big broad necklace that sits high up on the neck, that's a choker. Oh, sorry. So if you want to do the musculature here soft, you're just going to do a couple layers, and you're just going to do a highlight towards the top, right? You're not going to paint in like individual abs like you will on a more fit miniature. And here, this is where it's important to have a really thin highlight color, because you are going to get the majority of the area here, because they're basically just cylinders. And I'm drawing this all down in, along the length here. And I want the lighter color to kind of show up more towards the front and the center of the miniature. And if a girl has that on, she will teach you things. You mean a choker? Usually when they have a choker and it's just, whether that's a necklace or it's just, sometimes they're just a little piece of cloth. I don't know. It is, to me, I find it very sexy. I think, I don't know if that means anything specifically. To me, it does. It's like, the girl that's wearing the choker, like I don't know, just to me it means she's a little less reserved, that she's down to party. So see how that's a super thin layer there that went on her. may kind of dab this on since it's flowing out really well. You may kind of dab it towards the front and the center of the model. Kind of build the highlight a little bit. That's awesome. I'm really liking her. She's awesome. This chick is awesome. This is the kind of piece that my wife would look at and go, "Oh yeah, that's who I want to play." That's who she would want to play in these games. Thanks, Blade Wolf. And you kind of let it dry and then you do another layer and you can build it however you want in terms of, how pale you want the skin to be. And these other ladies, probably not going to do, they're probably not going to get that fair. This one, she may get a little more fair, just because she's blonde and probably going to be a little more fair skinned. Definitely Jessica Rabbit based on pose. Oh, for sure. I don't know if I want. I don't know if I really want to do much here. There we go. I mean, if I'm gonna go thin, it's gonna be like that thin. Whoa. Oh man, it's 12:30. I'm still painting. Sorry, man. This is some of the most fun I've had in a while. Painting a new model line like this. Okay, so this one's also a little bit paler than the other ones. And then the rest of these is going to do kind of really, really minor highlights on the skin. Man, these are good sculpts. What can I can't. I gotta put them down. I gotta put them down. I gotta stop painting. I gotta go to bed. Ah! But they look freaking awesome. It's just they're too good. They're too good. If you're not painting this range, then I don't know what the hell's the matter with you. Just kidding. No, really. Go out and get yourself a set of these. Go do it. Do it now, Dicey guy. Do it. These sculpts are great. They take paint well, and this is fun painting. Just getting the skin to work like that, and just doing these really, really subtle things to get kind of move your eye around the miniature and draw interest. Like this is like skin tones done right. Please tell me, like, seriously, if you like painting different ranges and different subjects like this, like, do this, man. With how they did the musculature on these and how cool it is, how much fun it is to blend this stuff. I'm gonna just say something that sounds completely ridiculous, but I feel like they're kind of putting Arena Rex to shame. I know that's like almost heresy, but I I I feel that like that's like look at the skin tones there. Look at the musculature on that. It's ridiculous. And I haven't done really anything to these. Like, look at that. You're going to for sure. Good, man. Like, this is what it's about right here. This is why, like, this is the big game, yo. See how that's too much there, right? We're going to pull a bunch of it off. Because she should be fairly, dark skinned. This girl runs laps at the beach. Like she's out in the sun a lot. Man, I am blown away. Like these are really good sculpts. Like way better. You look at the site, and I don't know. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but maybe their studio painter's crap, right? Maybe they don't pick good color schemes for them. I think I accidentally created Daisy Duke here. Should I redo the shirt as like a white and red checker? Like a white and red checker flannel shirt, make her look like Daisy Duke. There. Now it looks like she's wearing like cut off jeans. Like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Then you come to Cali and whoop some ass for sure, man. Bring your minis. Let's throw down. Just like the simple act of just that the light bouncing off her shoulder blade. Like, yeah, she's had it rough, but look at like, this is, how am I able to get results like this freaking clean and just with like really, really nice interest on her. You see how that just kind of, just that little bit of highlighting on the shoulders there. And just drawing your eyes up towards the top of the mini like that. It's shading 101, but, I'm sorry, highlighting 101, but these models like take to it like it's like they just make it easy. They make you feel like you're like really good at this. But I'm not doing anything differently than I do on any other mini I paint. It's doing a better job like blending. Except for that giant mold line I've got there. That's kind of annoying. A little bit of a buzzkill, thanks, mold line. They're almost done. Pretty awesome. But yeah, going to fun and see if I can get as good as you, maybe. It's freaking awesome. That's all I gotta say. These are awesome. Like, I'm not this good a painter. I'm not. But the results on these are really good. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I better call it here. I gotta go to bed, man. All right. So with that, we're gonna call this stream to a close. I want to thank everyone for watching. Man, I gotta say, like, I haven't had this much fun painting in a long time, and yeah, I don't know, man. This is there's good things going on with this game. It's crazy. It's gonna be great. Anyway, Richter Rising just jumped on right as I'm about to shut off the stream. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, dude. Oh, I just that's what? What? These are freaking ridiculous. Anyway, I can't wait to get these done, get them on their clear bases, throw them in the ring. They're gonna be. It's just gonna be like this is why I do the hobby. Like this is why I enjoy this, man. Like this is like I know I was complaining about just being bored of like the GW aesthetic, the buff guy stuff. This right here. This is why. This is what I want to paint. This is interesting.